Major IT players like Infosys and Wipro are cementing a Bangalore-Mysore corridor, pulling massive amounts of capital and talent into the city. Professionals are choosing to work in Bangalore but live in Mysore. Driving 140 kilometers between the two cities takes less time than sitting in Bangalore's daily gridlock. This influx of high-income workers is forcing Mysore to shift. The traditional single-family heritage homes are giving way to high-yield, multi-story apartment complexes to meet the sheer housing demand. But a market moving this fast creates blind spots. While the potential for profitability is massive, stepping into Mysore real estate right now carries severe risks for casual buyers. The primary source of this friction traces directly to MUDA, the Mysore Urban Development Authority, and massive, ongoing land allotment scandals. The state government recently canceled dozens of prime property titles, and the Enforcement Directorate is actively probing hundreds of site allocations for irregularities. To complicate matters, MUDA is currently undergoing a stalled and complex bureaucratic transition into a completely new body, the Mysuru Development Authority, or MDA, freezing many legal approvals in the process. The handshake real estate deal in Mysore is dead. If you want the geographic return on investment the city offers today, rigorous legal due diligence is the only metric that guarantees you actually own what you pay for. This chart plots Mysore's real estate market to show exactly how profitability is dictated by geography and neighborhood profiles. The high profit tier sits in central, high-income neighborhoods like Yadavediri, Saraswatipuram, and Jayalakshmipuram. Acquiring property here secures a premium tenant pool and delivers guaranteed high rental yields. The trade-off is the barrier to entry. Land is virtually non-existent in these zones, requiring massive upfront capital and limiting buyers almost entirely to apartment flats. Further out, the medium profit tier includes industrial-adjacent areas like the Hebal Industrial Area and Medagali. These neighborhoods offer much lower entry costs and provide steady, reliable appreciation driven by local workforce housing demand. But buyers here sacrifice the traditional heritage aesthetic of Mysore and take on higher exposure to local infrastructure delays. Finally, the low-profit tier covers peripheral areas located over 20 kilometers from the city center, such as Sharada Devinagara. Land acquisition costs here are the cheapest in the region. However, your capital is locked up long-term with very low immediate yield, and your property value is heavily vulnerable to stalled projects like the peripheral ring road. Identifying a mathematically profitable geographic zone means nothing if the specific plot of land you buy carries fatal bureaucratic flaws. This map shows the Mysore Master Plan 2031, which is the ultimate legal framework dictating survival in this market. The peripheral market is tempting. Unapproved plots sitting just outside these boundaries frequently offer faster transaction times and seemingly steep discounts. Bypassing the Master Plan 2031 zoning checks puts you at high risk of buying non-converted agricultural land. Legally, you will not be allowed to build on it, and the municipality will not provide basic amenities like water or sewage. Closer to the city, buyers often chase prime plots attached to older or contested MUDA allotments. While these plots look incredibly lucrative on paper, relying on them during the current ED investigations is toxic to your portfolio. This scorecard illustrates the current risk profile. Purchasing a contested MUDA plot exposes you to immediate title cancellation and indefinite approval delays while the agency restructures. The only viable protection is utilizing comprehensive legal advisors to ruthlessly audit compliance and setback rules before a single rupee changes hands. Your advisor must secure and audit specific documentation, like a Form 7 builder affidavit, which legally proves the developer actually owns the land and complies with municipal regulations. Doing things by the book requires a slower acquisition process and higher initial advisory fees. Total protection of your capital and immunity to ongoing bureaucratic restructuring is worth the friction of rigorous legal auditing. The macro reality of Mysore right now is clear. Analyzing the mathematical profitability of an apartment versus an independent house is irrelevant if your property title isn't legally impenetrable. This decision matrix maps the safest pathways based on your buyer profile. If you are a yield investor, target high-profit apartments in central zones like Yadavagiri, provided they have Master Plan 2031 clearance. If you are an end user planning to live in the city, focus strictly on established residential layouts that have already been legally transferred to local bodies, like the Mysore City Corporation. Targeting MCC transferred layouts is the only way to guarantee immediate access to municipal water, sewage, and civic amenities, while completely bypassing the current MUDA backlog. In a market defined by explosive growth and a severe regulatory crackdown, a rigorous legal audit has become the most valuable asset you can acquire. Hiring a professional advisory team to navigate this minefield ensures your capital is backed by a verified title, protecting you from the systemic risks that sink unadvised buyers. To execute this level of rigorous property value analysis, handle the legal documentation, and secure your investment in Mysore, partner with 369 Samruddhi Property Advisor today.